Hello, I'm Rick Steiner. Welcome to Lux Life Discovered. My guest today is Ryan Gardner, the CEO of Bucked Up Supplement Company. So, Ryan, glad to have you with us today.
Well, appreciate you having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. I tell you what, your company I know of through mainly FitCon over the last few years that I've helped uh, with Dallin when he had FitCon, and since it's changed ownership the last 2 years. But
Yep.
your group is always the most energetic, the most fun, most probably attended booth at the FitCon shows. So I after we were just there, a few weeks ago, and our booth and FitCon booth and your booth was right next to each other. I thought, man, I have to have him on and find out more about Bucked Up, and because you're based out of Utah, correct?
Yeah, we're just south of Salt Lake. Our main location, we have a headquarters in Orem, Utah, just right across from UVU, and our main warehouse is right off the American Fork exit.
Okay, all right. So tell me a little bit about Bucked Up. How did it start? You were one of the original founders. So
Yep.
kind of give me a little background on that part.
Well, just so you're aware, I do have an identical twin brother. So
Okay,
we run the company together. We both founded and run Bucked Up still to this day. It started in 2016, but if we go back a little bit further, we actually were domain buyers and we bought a domain name, deerantlerspray.com. And we went out and found it, manufactured to develop it and make it for us. And about 8 months later, Ray Lewis got accused of taking it right before the Super Bowl, and we became instantly popular.
okay. Yeah.
And then, a couple short days later, GNC called us and asked us, hey, how fast can you fulfill 30,000 bottles? And so we
Wow.
fulfilled 30,000 bottles within a month and off to the races. And then we started going to a lot of different expos and we saw people selling a pre-workout. And we said, well, what's a pre-workout? And then we got into selling. We said, let's keep along with the deer theme and let's call it Bucked Up and come out with a full line of supplements. And that's what we did.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. That's a
Uh-huh.
pretty cool way for it to begin. And
Yep.
to begin with a bang like that too, because that's pretty huge.
Yeah. It started off. I mean, there's been several times we look back and we're like, man, we were in the right spot at the right time.
Right. Yeah.
We were born and raised on a farm, so we weren't shy of working hard. So that's what we ended up doing.
But you
So
guys were ready for it too at the same time. So that's not like you had it presented to you, the offer, and then you had to get ready. You were ready, and that makes a
yeah, we
big
just took
difference. Yeah.
advantage. Yeah, we
Yeah.
took advantage of that opportunity when it came its way. Yep.
So Bucked Up, tell me, you've got pre-workouts now, you've got supplements of all different kind. What is your main product, or what do you think the
Yeah,
main?
it's still supplements. Supplements are our main thing. They do about, 75 to 80%. Then we also have energy drinks as well.
Okay.
And we also have buck shots that are like a little shot, like a 5 hour energy shot.
Okay.
So we have those as well. And they're doing really well for us. We won a bunch of packaging awards and everything for the buck shot and doing well. So we're cranking.
All right. And then, like we said, you're based out of Utah. Are you in all 50 states?
Yeah, we are. So we're the number one selling pre-workout throughout the country, and we sell everywhere. We're in GNC, Vitamin Shop, Walmart's, all the mom and pop supplement shops basically carry
Right.
us, and, gyms and fitness centers that sell supplements. We're in it, and now we're just expanding internationally. So we just started doing some international work, and so we've opened up Australia, the UK,
Oh,
Canada,
wow.
Mexico. So we're starting to spread our wings a little bit.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? Because you seem like, I mean, you are an established supplement company, so you would think that, all of that has already been done. So you're still on the ground floor a little bit in
Oh yeah,
some
yeah. We're
regards. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it's a big market. To be honest, we only sell about 8% of the pre-workouts. We only have 8% of the market, but that market is really big.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
we
crazy. Yeah.
definitely definitely have a lot of white space that we can take up, which is great. I actually love, I mean, we're doing a couple $100 million a year, and I love getting into a car and saying, hey, like at Uber and saying, hey, have you heard of Bucked Up before? And when they say no, I'm like, Yes, that means we've got a
That's
lot of room.
right. That means some growth potential. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. So you're an identical twin. So do you and your brother play tricks on people, even at your age now?
We did all our lives. So
And still
our
do.
dad was actually an identical twin as well. So
Oh
what
wow.
happened is he told us to take advantage of it, as best we could. So we did. We took advantage of it.
That's great. Oh me. I can see where that could be, you could get payback on a lot of people for a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
things. So yeah, yeah. Well,
Yep.
so tell people too about the buck tie. Of course, you kind of gave a little bit about the deer part of it when you first started, but the antlers and the whole background with the deer spray
Yeah,
part.
that's we had read an article in Sports Illustrated and it says Major League Baseball bans deer antler spray. And we were like, what's deer antler spray? We didn't even know what it was. Was it a hunting product or what? And at the time, we were into buying domain names. And if I back up just a little bit sooner than deer antler spray, we were selling a product called L-arginine plus, and it was a L-arginine product. It's a single bottle of L-arginine, and what that does is it helps blood flow and it helps reduce high blood pressure naturally. So it's a vasodilator, and we ended up buying the domain name larginine.com, and we got rewarded for buying that domain name, and we got rewarded and ranked number one for L-arginine when somebody would search, and we were doing roughly 3 to 4 to $5 million a year on that one
Unreal.
single product
Yeah.
because we were at the top and we were the first people to sell an L-arginine product. So once that happened, we said, obviously supplements is where it's at. And it just happened to be that Deer Antler Spray that Deer Antler Spray was banned in Major League Sports. And we went to the domain name and we happened to see it. And it was like $8 or $6.99 or right in the area.
Yes.
We bought it right away.
Well,
So
sure. Yeah.
yeah, so it was good.
One of your better investments for sure. Yeah.
Yep. So
So
we
no,
we took advantage of that. Yep.
so your background, how did you guys even know about that? I mean, what does your background even get you to even know about those products or to even know what to
Yeah,
do
like
with
we
those?
we were we were online marketing guys. So what we were
Okay.
doing is we were driving traffic. We had an affiliate network called Big Payout. We would drive traffic. People would show up to our office and say, "Hey, I got this product. Will you drive traffic to it?" And what we would do is we would take a look at their website and we'd say, "Hey, these are the changes you need to make. This is what you need to do." And then they would say, "Hey, we'll pay you this for every sale," and we would turn around to our publishers and say, "Hey, we'll pay you this." So we were really like, brokers in the middle. Like
Right.
people were to us all the time and tell us, you know, they heard that we could drive traffic. So people would come out of the woodworks to get traffic to their website. And we would just simply turn around and sell it or send it to our publishers, and our publishers would drive the traffic. And then we got smart and said, hey, we need to just do it for ourselves.
Right. Right. That's
So,
awesome. That's pretty interesting because I never knew that's how it started. And I was thinking so many people have started supplement companies. They are their own supplement line.
yeah.
But you guys have a very unique approach to it that I never knew about. So that's pretty interesting. And you've kept the deer logo, the antler logo, and
Yep.
that's really been one of your most unique identifying marks of your company.
Yep. It's something that people are recognizing, and then also people just get drawn to it. Like some people go, we had a GNC in Mississippi say, we have people coming in and they just grab it because it has a buck logo on it.
Exactly. Yes.
So,
You're getting to the south with all the deer hunters and all the hunters.
yeah,
Yeah. You already score big time. Yeah.
yeah, in Minnesota, they just grab it. They're like, hey, I don't care what this is. It has a buck on it. I'm trying. And then we
That's
get
true.
them hooked
Yeah.
as soon as that happens. So, our basic core values, obviously we want people to have a really good customer experience with our company.
Right.
We believe that we have some of the best tasting and the most effective or efficacious products on the market. And because of that, we get really good results. When you have good customer experience and products that really work, it tends to work out well for you.
Sure, sure. And then when you're like at the fitness expos, the energy
Uh-huh.
you guys produce there is like second to none. I mean, how, so do you remember your first expo you did? What was it like? And then
Yeah.
how would you compare it to what you produce now?
You know, when we were selling the Deer Antler Spray, that's the first time that we started going to expos.
Really?
We
Okay.
were looking around and we saw all these people selling different items and handing out different things. Um, that's really when we started realizing, hey, this is getting in front of the right people. And that's when we saw people selling a pre-workout. And then we said, hey, we really need to do a pre-workout. And we actually in January of 2016, that's when we launched Bucked Up, and we produced 1,000 bottles of Bucked Up Blood Raz, which is just like a red raspberry flavor. But it was so unique and it tasted so good. It was an easy sell. We actually sold all 1,000 bottles at that expo.
Wow. So, and you said that's your number one seller, right? The number one pre-workout. What is it now?
Pre-workouts in general. So we have
Okay. All right.
one of the core values, so we talked about, great taste, customer experience, but the other thing is that we feel like we have something for everyone. So we have different strengths of pre-workout that
Okay.
someone can take. So like, for instance, if somebody takes Bucked Up, they go, I didn't really feel it. Well, you may want to try Banff or Woke AF or even Mother Bucker, which is our strongest
I
formula.
always like your names. Those are great.
But either way, you're going to get bucked up. Either
That's
way.
right.
So,
I like that. I like that.
yeah.
Oh man, I no, that's because that'll stay with you. You'll remember it. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. The names are catchy. Our name Bucked Up is catchy.
yeah.
We're from Utah. We're Mormon, and even saying the F word is really tough for us. But my parents didn't even like the name of Bucked Up.
Oh really? They thought it was
Yeah.
just almost too radical, huh?
Yeah, but now it rolls right off their tongue. It's no
Right.
problem. It kind of hit more mainstream now. So
That's great. Oh, so now with okay, back to the expos and stuff and your energy there, your sponsored athletes, how do you get your sponsored athletes? Are they all local or do you bring them in from
no,
different parts of the
they're all
country?
over the
Okay.
place. They're all over the place. We actually have, down at the bottom of our website, people can apply to become a brand ambassador for
Okay.
us.
All right.
And then when people apply and we see how they do, once we see that they have some influence, then we sign them on to become a sponsored athlete where we either, give them in-store credit or we pay them a little bit of money and then they still promote our products. That's kind of what we do, but they come in from all over the place. I mean, even today, we'll get 250 people applying to become a brand
Really?
ambassador a
Wow.
day.
That's
Yep.
unreal. Well,
And
that's
so we just filter through them and we find the best of the best, and we have some requirements and they have to do certain things, and then we go with it.
that's
So
good. Yeah. All right. And then how many drinks do you give away at a typical expo?
we
Because
probably
I was
weigh.
watching that and I was like, good
Mhm.
gracious, that's the dollars, the business mind like clicking. It's like it's got to be a great return on the investment, but that's a lot of free
we
free
call it
product.
we call it we call it cans in hands, right?
Uh-huh.
So the more cans we get in hands, the better opportunity we have to sell them more in the future, because they've done several studies, in the past, that's why Red Bull went out and handed out Red Bulls all over the place, because they knew if they could get it into their hands and they try it, then the chances of them buying one later on is really, really high. I think it's like 85, 90% will go and actually buy one. So we hand out a couple pallets at an expo. There's 2,000 drinks per pallet. So you're giving out anywhere from 4,000 to 8,000 cans, depending on how many
I didn't
people.
realize
And
it was that many. Good gracious. Yeah.
yeah, not everybody will want something, not everybody takes an energy drink, but, we just say, hey, try it and wait till you try it.
Oh, I tried a couple there and it was great because I needed that little boost about 4 o'clock one
Okay.
day and went over to one of your guys and it's like, oh yeah, try this one. And it made me make it through the day and the night. So
Yeah.
that was good. But
Yep.
so when you're looking at your product line, like, is there two things? Is there anything that you see on the horizon that you think needs to be added to the supplement industry? Like,
Oh, we constantly go to expos like with ingredients, ingredient expos to find diamonds in the rough and see what's the next up and coming.
okay,
And sometimes there are some good ones, and sometimes you go and you're like, there's nothing really that's new,
right.
and nothing's really trending. But we're always constantly innovating and coming out with new items. And in fact, we have stuff scheduled out till the middle of next year, 2025.
Wow. Okay.
So you'll see a lot of new products coming from us.
Well, that's good. And then also your range, price, age range for your like clients. Do you target mainly younger people, or is it?
No,
How
but
does?
it's all over the board because we have some products for older people, like like our Rut testosterone booster that generally tends to be 40 and over.
Right.
But like pre-workouts, our main demographic is 18 to 34-year-olds for sure.
Okay. So wider than I thought on that. So that's good. Yeah. And it
Yeah,
all depends on level of fitness that they're
yeah,
at
yeah.
too. And
It
so yeah.
depends on the level of fitness. Somebody that's just starting out, they may want to try a non-stimulant pre-workout that we have to bucked up, or somebody who's been in the gym for years may want to take Woke AF or Mother Bucker. So
Okay. And then going back to that, how do
yeah,
you come up with your names? Like, do y'all sit around and you and your twin brother? I can just see y'all being like total
we we come
mischievous
up,
brothers doing this.
yeah, we like to push the envelope a little bit, but yeah, we come up with the names here internally, and we have a really great marketing team, and we come up with things all the time.
That's good.
We
Yeah.
try to come up with catchy names so that people remember us.
Oh yeah. In fact, I texted my wife one day and she said we're during FitCon and she's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm getting bucked up." And she's like, "You're what?" So I had to go through the whole explanation of that. I had one of your drinks, and she's like, "Oh, okay, I get it now." And
Yeah.
she said, "Just be
See,
careful with that."
we like that because people, it kind of catches people's attention.
Oh, it
So
does.
we
Yeah,
like it a lot.
yeah, that's good. So, what do you see like your biggest opportunity that's still ahead of you for your company?
We're, right now we're still, we're kind of focusing a little bit more on energy drinks and shots. The energy drink business is really, really growing. It does about 20 to 25% of our business right now, but we feel like that
Yeah.
has the most potential. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So,
Yeah.
even though we're doing big numbers, it's mostly supplements that we're still doing big numbers on. We'll probably sell 60 million energy drinks this year.
That's
And
unreal.
right now we're ranked the ninth most popular energy drink on the market. And hopefully in the next couple months we'll be to number 6. But we're really competitive. We like competitive spaces, and energy drinks and supplements are definitely competitive.
That's interesting. So you're 6 and still selling 60 million.
Yeah, yeah,
That's crazy. Yeah.
yeah, we'll probably do, yeah. I mean, yep, that's about what you'll do.
That's unreal. I never that those numbers just blow my mind. I didn't realize it was that many, and
Well, when
without
you
being
get
like at the top.
Red
Yeah.
Bull and Monster, obviously they're selling millions and millions of drinks.
So those are the two probably. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're selling hundreds of millions of drinks, but those are the two most popular. We're actually considered, performance energy, not necessarily traditional energy like Monster or Red Bull. So we're competing against things like Ghost and Celsius and things like that. So
Okay. All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
I
selling millions and millions of drinks because they have really good distribution.
you what? Yeah. My producer's talking about shelf life and all of that too. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the biggest challenge with you doing products all across the country? Does that come into play too?
It's,
Like the challenge with
yeah.
that?
Well, yeah, I mean, shipping energy drinks, it's pretty tough, but you get it dialed in pretty quick because you figure out what actually works and what doesn't. But I think the biggest challenge of our business is just brand awareness and
Right.
just making sure that people know that you're here. Eventually, we want to become like Monster and Red Bull. you know, and we want people to know and hear Bucked Up and they know what it is.
So events and fitness conferences, where all do you go across the country? Are you
Yeah,
at?
we go across the country. We have a couple tour trucks. We hit everything from festivals and music, you know, events. We're
Okay.
trying to get out there, you know, like our energy drinks, they're not just for fitness. These are for energy and focus. If you want something that's really good for a workout, you would still stick with a pre-workout, the powders.
Right.
The powders provide pump, endurance, strength, you know, that power output. There's a lot of really great ingredients in our pre-workout supplements. This drink is really designed for lifestyle. Like this is like for the blue collar worker or the college kid looking to have some focus to get ready for a test, you know, those types of things. So, you know, it's really designed, the energy drink is really designed differently than like for fitness.
Okay. I'll text you some information after we get off the podcast of a
Yeah.
big music festival here in the Gulf Coast area that
Okay.
you may want to be interested in checking out at some point. We've got
What is it called?
well, Gulf Coast Jam is one.
Gold Coast Jam?
Yeah. And then which one were you talking about? And there's one in the fall also. So I'll send you some information on those, but those would be
Please do.
definitely worth your time to look into.
Yeah, that would be great.
What's that? Yeah, and Kid Rock will be doing a big one down here soon too. So I'll find out information on that for you as well.
Where are you guys located?
Santa Rosa Beach is where we do the podcast. So Panama City Beach, we're west of there. So Panama City Beach is where the Gulf Coast Jam is. And so all along the Bay County, Walton County area in 38.
Yeah. Well, how long have you been doing your podcast?
We just recorded our 100th episode about
Oh, wow.
2 hours ago. So we've been doing this for like since November 2021. And then,
So you've had 100 guests on.
yes, yeah,
So
30,
am I 101 or am I 100?
you're 103. Sorry,
103?
yeah, because, yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, 103rd. I got mixed up on the numbers. But yeah, and of the 100 that we've had, we've done probably 66 have been in studio. The rest have been remote, nationally and internationally. So we're part of 38 TV network. We have our own channel there on that TV network that's streamed in all major markets, U.S. and internationally. And
Awesome.
so we have fun with it. It's just
So who's been your most entertaining guest, or
you.
which if I well, I appreciate that. Get bucked up. I like it.
That's
So,
right. I mean, you're going to ask me a question like that.
well, if I had to go back and listen to a couple of your shows, who would you say I need to listen to?
Oh my gosh. Well, see,
Who would be good to listen to?
Dr. D, Aquavitae, he's has a IV drip bar here. He's an emergency room physician that is now has his own IV drip bar here. His name is Dr. George Dockendorf, and he is a character. Oh my gosh. In fact, I went and had one of his little IV treatments the day before yesterday, and he's something else. Then also I'm an event planner, so I do events across the country, weddings, corporate events, private events, fundraisers. We had a lady on from Knoxville, Tennessee, who she's a couture bridal gown designer. And so what I like about my podcast, it's not a scripted format. So we just talk and kind of discover things. And while we were doing the podcast, I realized that she left her business, worked for the FBI as a forensic profiler for 20 years and had just retired like 3 years before that and was one of the top profilers for the FBI. And then, you're like, I just wish we had like another 2 hours here, because so it's been fun. It's just a whole different range of people. I've had, it's just a diverse group, but
good. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we've had a couple of songwriters, a couple here that's from Canada. They live here part of the year, and they are songwriters and Grammy Award winners. So we've had them. We've had Todd Anthony Tyler, who's a judge and photographer that started Asia's Next Top Model. And
so you get a wide gamut of people.
Yes. And so it's been fun. Yeah. I don't want it to be like a certain, segment. I want it to be a very diverse group of people that is just local and national and international. Yeah.
So you came out to the expo because you knew Dave before,
Well,
or
Dallin, when
Dallin
Dallin had it,
before?
yeah, yeah. I being an event planner, when the events
Event.
are mine, I hear my name all the time, and even though I'll be 65 in July, I like to work out, and I always wanted to go to FitCon, so I contacted him. I'm like, hey, if I come out and volunteer for you, are you interested? He's like, well, yeah. And then
Well,
we
of
hit it
course.
off, and so it's worked out over the years, and love FitCon, love Utah, and so but it was nice to go and not have my name yelled the whole time. There's somebody else in charge. I
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
have fun with it, and
You know,
so go
we
ahead.
we actually have we're actually putting on our first expo as well. It's going to be the Bucked Up Games and
Okay,
Expo, September 13th and 14th.
where
This
and
yeah, right at UVU, at Utah Valley University, right across the street from us. We have a big, we're taking their big David O. McKay Center, and we're taking up a few fields. We're going to be doing some games, bring in some big influencers. It's going to be fun, and it'll be free for everyone to attend.
you're kidding. So it's September when?
September 13th and 14th. You ought to come out.
We will talk about that. I will. Yep, I'll put that on my calendar. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna try and get out, obviously, we're gonna have about 40 to 50 booths. And what
okay,
we're doing is we're incentivizing, we would like to give them their booths for free, but they're gonna have to bring some big influencers out so that
right.
everybody can meet them. So we're hoping to get a really good attendance. I think it'll be a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun games.
Oh my
People are
gosh, it would be great. Yeah.
People can win up to $250,000 in some of these games. So it's gonna be awesome.
Oh man. Well, okay, I'm gonna put it on my calendar for sure, and then I'm gonna follow up with you on some other details. But
For
yeah,
sure.
so okay, we're gonna put your information on the screen and tell people how to reach out to you, and then we'll go from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, once again, I appreciate you having me on. Good seeing you again. Good talking to you.
Same
And
here. Yes.
just appreciate you. Thanks.
Okay, and then I will follow up with you, and thank you for joining us today on Luxe Life Discovered, and we will see you soon.